Oh yeah, Game Plop's back.
Game Plop! Stubbs the Zombie, rebel without a pulse.
He stole my hot dog!
Say what you will about this game, but it will always hold a special place in my heart. Releasing on the original Xbox and PC in 2005, and re-releasing this year on the Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch, Stubbs the Zombie brought us something fresh. It's a zombie game, obviously, but this time you are the zombie, spreading the zombie plague throughout the land and infecting every human you can see, one brain at a time. Delicious! The story is pretty simple. A door-to-door salesman was murdered by his girlfriend's father and buried. 26 years later, his old girlfriend's son builds a city right on top of the burial site of Stubbs. Stubbs rises from the dead and enacts his revenge on the citizens of Punchbowl the zombie way, by eating the brains of the living. The goal of the game is revenge, yes, but it's also finding your beloved and having your happily ever after that was robbed from you. The game includes a variety of different things Stubbs can do. He can do basic swings and scratches, he can jump on a human's brain, obviously. He can throw his internal organs to act as a grenade, fart. No, I'm not kidding, you can actually fart. Throw your head as a bowling ball, and even throw your hand to mind control an enemy. The levels vary from the city, to farms, labs, police HQ, and even a down battlefield. Sadly, I can't really include one of the funniest parts in the game as a copyright notice would be issued. However, I can show you it without music. Behold the dance-off with the police chief. Yes, this really happens. And yes, it's marvellous. Enemies are all human. They vary though depending on their role. You'll have fodder citizens who will literally just scream and run, armed citizens that whack you with a variety of melee weapons, cops with guns, barbershop singers with lasers, scientists with phasers, giant farmers with chainsaws. It's just chaos at times, in a good way. The whole feel of this retro future world is great. It brings Back to the Future 2 vibes all over the place. I love the aesthetic of it all. While this review gameplay had no music due to the licensed music used in the game, the soundtrack is on point. Classics such as Lollipop, Earth Angel, Mr. Sandman, and many more are all present here. It brings the world to life, and I gotta say, playing without music for this review was a bummer, as I really enjoyed the soundtrack of this game. The biggest downside to Stubbs the Zombie is the entire game can be played pretty much 4 hours casually. That's how long it took me to beat the game in this review, and I was taking it leisurely, I was enjoying it. And that's with plenty of deaths. With such a short game and nothing added on the re-release, dedicated players may smash the 1 to 2 hour playthrough times, which is kinda Yikes. Another flaw is the checkpoint system. Sometimes you can lose a lot of progress when you die. You'll see a point you think is a checkpoint and then get sent way back further than you thought. It's frustrating, as these issues especially are present in later levels. It just seems the checkpoint system was rushed and not thought out well. The bosses in this game are also a weak point. It's all so easy and doesn't take you more than a few seconds to figure out what to do. Except for this guy.
I got a blade in my head.
This guy is just a normal enemy chainsaw guy, the first one you meet, and he has a substantial amount of health. It's just frustrating. It's just annoying. Don't do this. With the bosses generally being so weak, it kinda makes you think why they bothered adding them in the first place. They feel tacked on, and for a game about being a zombie, it's kind of unnecessary. They could have dedicated that time to creating more. There are some parts of the game that feel more thought out than others. For example, the police station section has a fleshed out interior and varied enemies. The enemies are challenging without feeling like you're dying to bullshit. Whereas the later stages, you're fighting in a war zone. Don't sue me, Activision, lol. The army have deployed and are fighting back the zombies. The biggest issue is that the soldiers with rifles are fine. Snipers, however, are very annoying as they are up high. If you have no abilities and can't eat any brains to recharge them, you're screwed. The bazooka soldiers is flat out horseshit. I get it when you're in the tank. Yeah, you can drive a tank, by the way. But when you're just Stubbs, you get blasted up in the air because a bazooka soldier spotted you and you didn't see him, then get sent back 5 to 10 minutes prior to that point. It gets annoying. The biggest annoying section has to be the first tank encounter. You have to eat the brains of citizens and soldiers to charge your organ throw and head throw to kill the soldier in the tank. This can take many attempts before it finally works. It's just bad, no excuses for this. Overall, Stubbs the Zombie has lost some of its luster. What was acceptable back then is no longer these days. I remember having so much fun with Stubbs on the original Xbox. Playing again was fun, but not as much as I remember. I loved it until the war-torn city section towards the end. I don't like the end parts, it's annoying and tedious. I'd say if you see this on sale for like £7 or like $9 if you're in America, pick it up. But unless this gets a permanent price cut, I can't recommend this at full price. This coming from a huge fan from back in the day. While Stubbs the Zombie stumbled back to life on the PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and we even got an updated PC version, it maybe should have stayed dead. It's aged poorly, and I can't defend that the whole game is basically done with so quickly, with no further modes to explore. Bury it in a steel coffin and bolt that shit down. Stubbs has had its time. Rising again in 2021 was not the best choice. Thanks for watching GamePlop. If you like what you see, be sure to give the video a like. Leave a comment if you feel like doing so. And why not subscribe if you want to see more from GamePlop in the future? Saves you from searching British guy reviews a game every time and hopefully getting lucky, I don't know.